Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I am going to be introducing you to my baby. So I did have my baby, obviously. His name is Emmett Murdoch. So this is baby Emmett and he is 8 days old today. He was born February 12th at 4:45 a.m. and I will be doing a whole birth story video when I get a chance. So I'm not going to go over too much about what like labor and delivery was like, but he was born on February 12th, which is my dad's birthday, so he has a birthday buddy. He weighed 7 pounds 7 ounces and was 50 centimeters tall when he was born. And he did have a doctor's appointment at 6 days old, his first doctor's appointment. And he was already over his birth weight by 1 ounce. So when babies are born, they do tend to lose some weight, especially in the hospital over the first few days. And they do monitor that. And then they are expected to be back up to their birth weight at 2 weeks old. And he has already like gained back his weight and then some at 6 days old. So that is a really good indicator that breastfeeding is going really well. We are breastfeeding. I breastfed Wyatt for 22 months, almost 2 years, and I plan on doing the same with Emmett. And I'm just so grateful that my milk came in really well. He's feeding amazingly, and we've had no breastfeeding issues, and he is now up to 7 pounds 8 ounces, so 7.5 pounds exactly. He was born in 3 minutes of pushing, and wow, that was intense. Again, I will do a birth story video, and why that is relevant is in the first 24 to 48 hours he is really mucusy. So as babies are born, as they're getting compressed repeatedly, they're like the mucus in their lungs and stuff is kind of being pushed out, and because he was born in 3 minutes of pushing, that didn't happen for him. So he had a lot of coughing and choking in the hospital. So luckily the nurses were there, and every time he was trying to get a bunch of mucus up, they had to come in and check on him and make sure he didn't like inhale it or anything like that, because if it was a big glob then he could really choke on it. So that was kind of scary for a little bit, but thankfully, you know, he got all of that mucus up. And even if they cough it up and it doesn't come out, but they swallow it properly, then that's okay as well. We were in the hospital, so I had him at 4:45 a.m. on Wednesday, and we got our discharge papers at 10 a.m. on Thursday. And then like we had to get packed up and ready to go. So we were home around lunchtime on Thursday, and he was able to meet his brother. So I do want to insert just a small clip of how the boys reacted to bringing baby Emmett home. So Emmett is our third son, so this is him meeting his 2 big brothers. You're having cheesy noodles? Look!
I see a baby, Mom.
You see a baby?
Do I come see him?
Is he awake?
And come see.
He's eating his cheese and noodles, Mom.
You're gonna come?
Oh my goodness. He's so tiny.
Say hi, baby, and be gentle, though. Say hi, hold his hand. Say hi, baby brother.
Hi, baby brother.
Aww. Is he so little?
He's waving to Wyatt.
Should we take him out of there?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you go eat your lunch, okay? He does still have his umbilical cord, so he hasn't been able to have a proper like submersive bath yet. He's just kind of gotten a sponge bath a couple of times, and I was surprised that he still has his umbilical cord because I'm pretty sure Wyatt lost his at exactly 7 days old, like 1 week old, and Emmett is 8 days old. So I was expecting it to have fallen off by now, but it has not. He did have his first massive blowout diaper today, so that was exciting. This is the first day that I have been without Jeremy home all day. He's been gone for probably half the day. He'll be home soon. He had to go do something, but I'm lucky enough that he was able to take almost 2 weeks off with us, so he still has quite a few days at home with us still. But this was the first day where I was flying solo for half the day. I was really surprised. I did a side-by-side comparison of what Emmett looked like in the hospital, like right when he was born, versus what Wyatt looked like in the hospital, and I'm going to insert that picture over here for you to see. And I basically gave birth to the same child twice, so obviously the coloring is different because Wyatt was born late in the evening, so it was dark in the hospital room when I took the picture, and it was early morning when I took the picture of Emmett. So besides that, and obviously I couldn't get the exact same angle, I actually wasn't even thinking of it until later that day, and I just found 2 pictures that were like as similar as I could get. But don't they look so much alike? I find that really funny. He does have way more hair, so Wyatt was pretty bald. And if you guys followed my pregnancy updates, you'd know that I had intense like acid reflux and heartburn, which I did with Max as well, and both Max and Emmett have quite a bit of hair, and Wyatt was the bald baby. And he's also more fair like me, whereas Wyatt has the same skin tone as his grandpa, Jeremy's dad. He's much more like tan skin, and I'm white as a ghost, and I feel like Emmett has more of my coloring. He's a little red right now. He might end up being a little darker than me just because Jeremy is so much more tan than I am. But that is another key difference between him and Wyatt, is that he has a lot of hair and is more fair. He does currently have bluish eyes, which many newborns do, and that can change up to 2 years old, but I did want to mention that as well. And his hair is dark and straight, whereas Wyatt's is more like a dirty blonde and extremely curly. But again, like all that hair could follow, and he could have blonde curly hair too. We'll just have to see. As I mentioned, Jeremy has been home and it will be for a few more days as well, and it's been such a huge help. It's allowed me, like each of us, to still get one-on-one time with the other 2 boys as well, so Daddy can play video games with the older boys while I'm, nursing Emmett, or Max and I were able to bake some squares one night. Wyatt is such a mama's boy that he really still needs a lot of one-on-one time, and since Jeremy's been home, he's been able to like hold Emmett or things like that while I snuggle with Wyatt. But meal times has been the biggest help. I've still done all of the cleaning up, and Jeremy has done like 90% of the cooking over the last week, which I can't even explain to you how helpful that's been, because today, like I said, he's been gone for half the day, and I had to cook lunch with, like, Emmett is losing it because he's hungry, he wants his lunch. Wyatt is screaming about how he wanted a different kind of noodles, not the kind I was making. Things were boiling over. We had a diaper change in between while the pot was boiling over. Like, day 1 by myself wasn't that great, except I was able to get dressed and do my makeup and stuff, which was fun. But having Jeremy home has really helped with the family adjustment. Wyatt has been really sweet with Emmett to an extent. He's still careless. Wyatt's only 2, so sometimes he's just being silly and he bonks heads with Emmett, or like falls half on top of him, like really crazy stuff. He also like pushes Emmett's legs a little bit if he wants to snuggle with me, which we're obviously trying to get him not to. And Max, though he is 9, has also needed a lot of extra attention, which was something I wasn't really expecting. Obviously he still needs like one-on-one time with his mom and dad, but like more needy than I thought that he would be, which has been a challenge because I kind of feel like he's old enough to know better. So we're trying to make an effort and like going outside, or like I said, we baked squares the other day, just me and him, but that has been a challenge that I didn't foresee. So I think that's all I had to share while introducing baby Emmett to you guys. He has his little wubba nub thing here. I did also just film a postpartum 1-week update, which I think will be going up after this video. I'm filming this on February 20th. I have no idea when these will go up, but I'm trying to make sure I sit down to film them at least at a reasonable time. I want to continue doing updates for him. I probably will do another one at his 1-month update. So if there's anything else you would like for me to include in these videos, then be sure to let me know. And you can follow me on Instagram at Emily and Max for more real-time updates. I do post him on my Instagram stories and things like that, because he's obviously not going to be this small by the time I get this video actually up. If you enjoyed today's video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that I know, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!